I would say, I've had some great experiences at different parishes, so I don't want to belittle those. But I will say, for such a new and relatively small community, the amount of engagement is staggering to me. Like how many people are involved doing things regularly, and how communal they really are. I mean, I was still blown away, actually by you, like when my car needed work and I couldn't drive down, to go to the Mass here, and it's like, Father's, oh, well, Adam will pick you up on his way, which wasn't really on the way. I looked it up. It was going out of the way on an already long commute. It was like, no, we want you here, and we're going to find a way to get you here. And, just people going out of their way to do nice things for you without even being asked. It's like, oh, you have a need? Let's meet it. Or just encouraging people to come and to participate, and how it's just a very active community that wants to do a lot of things, and they like being here and hanging out with each other. They don't all just go racing off after every Mass, trying to avoid people. Like, they really want to engage one another. And I've had some wonderful conversations with people, just after the Masses and other events that are just, it's just great. Is very much of a real community.
Yeah. What do you make of being part of something that is, taking a huge risk in buying a building, buying an old Baptist church? Like, what do you make of that kind of risk that has been taken to start something new? Like, and some people might say, like, well, we don't need a new parish. We have lots of parishes here. What about that kind of risk that is kind of akin to the spiritual journey? I don't want to lead you into the answer.
Yeah. No, I think there just seemed to already be so much interest in the area. And yeah, it's, brute population-wise, it's not a large, but most of the parishes in this area are not large anyway. But there seemed to be a real hunger and a thirst that this really seemed to meet, which is, I think, proven by the fact that there are a lot of people that come here from long-established parishes that are great parishes. So it's not even like they're running from something, but they're drawn to what the Ordinariate has to offer and the way it's being offered. And, so some people split their time, and some people have switched over, almost entirely to this parish. But I think it's because there's always some excitement for something new as well. But that excitement wouldn't be there if it wasn't being done the way that it is. To me, it's the way it's being done. And
say more about what do you mean?
Well, one, the way that the liturgy is done, how the music is befitting the mysteries being celebrated, and the community being involved in that sort of really having that focus on spending time together and doing things like that, and in some ways offering things that even, how do I put this? Some other parishes might even like to do things, but it would actually be harder for them to do them because of the way things have been done for decades or whatever, or that are just not common practice anymore. I actually was shocked the very first Ordinariate Mass I went to, because without even knowing that this is how they did communion, I for a long time thought, you know what, I wish the Latin Rite would do communion at an altar rail on the tongue through intinction. Because I'm like, because that way you get the reverence of, the blessing with the host at individual communion, and you get both species, which is something you don't get with the traditional Latin Mass. I'm like, well, this would be a best of both worlds. And then very first one I came, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is normally what they do. And it would be really hard to do that anywhere else. And so this Ordinariate patrimony seems to be afforded, because of its structure and where it comes from, an ability to do things that would be much harder to find elsewhere.